speaker tonight is Doug Williams. He's doing the first speech from the Advanced Communication Series, Interpretive Reading. Doug Williams is a victim of his own mind. Stories appear in his head, and he has to write them down. The Star Pool is a short story that came to Doug during a workshop on creative writing. Here for your entertainment is Doug Williams doing an interpretive reading of his story, The Star Pool.
It was getting late. We were supposed to be home, but the water felt so good. It was hot these days, real hot. The only cool place was the water hole. Me and Tom was playing a game, see who could climb the highest on the cliff and make the biggest splash. So far, Tom was winning. The cliff was still wet halfway up from his best splash. Tom had already gone to the bank, was getting dressed, quitting while he was ahead. I wanted one more jump. As I climbed, the sun sank behind the trees. I wanted to get higher this time. I knew if I got high enough, I could beat Tom's mark. I got lucky this time. Somehow, my toe managed to find a hold in that rock, blocking the way up to the highest ledge. I pushed myself over the top and grabbed a branch, pulled myself up. The sky turned red as I stood up on that ledge. I looked down. It was a long, long way down. It was farther than I'd ever jumped. A lot farther. I got a bit scared, I guess. I wasn't so sure I wanted to jump from here after all. What if I broke something? I'd heard of people breaking legs when they jump from way high up. They say the water can turn to concrete when you jump from way high up. I looked at Tom. He was already buttoning up his pants. It was getting dark. I could see the first stars. Starlight, star bright. First star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight. I started to wish that I don't break a leg or that the water don't turn to concrete. Hurry up, yelled Tom. Mama's going to skin us alive if we don't get home quick. But I made another wish. I wished I didn't have to go back home. That I could just stay in the pool. That Mama don't skin me alive. It was getting dark, real dark. I could see more stars. Tom was pulling on his shoes. I couldn't wait no more. I had to jump. Now. I closed my eyes, but my feet didn't move. I was too scared to jump. Then I remembered Jimmy Ray had done it last summer. Jimmy Ray had jumped from this very spot. Water didn't turn to concrete when he jumped. I took a deep breath. I jumped. I fell for a long, long time. I wanted to open my eyes. I wanted to see how far down it was to the water, but I was too scared. I knew I should hit just any minute now, but I kept falling and falling and falling. I fell for a long time. Then I was underwater. The coolness engulfed me. I could feel the bubbles tickling my body. The water was deep, real deep, deep and cool. I went down and down and down. I went deeper than I ever remember going. I'd hit bottom lots of times. The soft mud always cushioned me as my feet sunk into the mud. Hitting bottom was kind of like getting a prize. I went down and down and down, but I didn't hit bottom. I knew that I had gone deeper than ever before, but there was still no bottom. How deep was I? When I stopped going down, I opened my eyes. It was dark, dark as a pit. I'd gone deeper than all my bubbles. Darkness was all around me. It was quiet. real quiet. No sound at all. The water was heavy. It pressed on me. The pressure was greater than ever before. How deep was I? I started to swim up. The pressure was terrible. It hurt my ears. It hurt my chest. It should have been a short swim to the surface, but it wasn't. How deep was I? It can't be this deep. The swimming hole ain't this deep. I swam harder. I had to get to the surface. I looked up. There was only darkness above me. I clawed at the water. I kicked with all my might. My lungs were burning like they was on fire. I had to get up. I had to get out. My chest hurt real bad. I was starting to wonder if I'd gone so deep that I wouldn't make it back to the surface. Then I saw the stars shimmering through. I knew I was almost there. I kicked hard. I reached for the stars. I almost yelled with the pain in my hands. It felt like I rammed my fist into a stone wall. I probably broke 2 fingers. But I didn't reach the stars. I didn't reach the surface. Not the top side, anyway. I was stuck just below the surface. I didn't yell. I don't know why, but somehow I knew that if I yelled, I would let the air out of my lungs, and it'd be gone. I had to keep that air. I tried to reach the surface, but I couldn't. It was right there above me. But it was like it was made of glass or something, only it rippled like water. I could hit it, I could make splashes, but I couldn't get out. I couldn't get out. I kicked hard and thrust down my arms, shooting myself up like a rocket. My head crashed into the surface. I thought I'd split my skull. But I didn't yell. My chest hurt. My lungs burned like fire. The air in my chest was demanding to be released. But I knew I had to hold my breath. I had to keep that little bit of air. The stars danced on the surface. They danced on the top side of the surface. It was like they was laughing at me. They knew something. They knew something and they was laughing at me. Then I saw Tom. He picked up my clothes, laughing, and he ran off into the trees. No, Tom, don't go. Help me. You got to come back, Tom. The stars, they danced. The stars, they laughed. The air in my chest burned. I had to stop Tom. He had to help me. With all the force of my body, I desperately screamed out Tom's name. The air from my lungs became bubbles. I watched as the bubbles rose up through the dark. The dark, cool, quiet water. I watched as the bubbles reached the surface. I watched as the bubbles bumped along and bobbed against the surface, dancing there, dancing just under the surface. I watched the bubbles dancing there for a moment, dancing with the stars, those laughing stars. Then one by one, the bubbles broke the surface. I watched each bubble break the surface. I watched the last bubble break the surface. And then they were gone.